All right, everyone. Welcome to the Dawn of World Sports live chat. It's just basically a sports chat. What was I going to say? I've just done a video of John Worsfold, Woosha, from my other channel, which is the Dawn's channel, obviously, for anybody who's got following me on both. The Dawn's channel's been going for a lot longer. It's doing not too bad as well as a channel. And I've since that one, I've just done a reaction to Sidney Crosby, who's an NHL player. Really enjoyable video. I won't say too much about that because I'm actually just transferring that file right now from my camera. I've just recorded that reaction. So I hope you're all well. One second. Sorry, I know I'm just... Yeah. I'll talk away. So Sidney Crosby, what a fucking player he is, by the way. Just 1 second, just sorting the child out here. All right, that top. I'm going to get her dressed. Change the clothes. Here. Put your arm on down. There you go. Sorry about that. Yes. So, the boss baby in. You want to sit up? There you go. You play your wee game there. So, what's the banter? Anyway, somebody's still there. A couple of people joined. This is just a relatively new channel. I mean, it's been going a while, but I've never really put the same sort of effort into this channel as I had my other one. So it's starting to grow now. I'm doing a lot more NHL, which is good. I'm doing the AFL, covering different sports as well. We're going to be doing a podcast on this channel. Which is something that I'm looking to do further down the line. Talk about certain topics, maybe ones that, might cause quite a bit of debate, which is good. Sports about debate. An opinion, we've all got one, like an asshole. So, as I say, a lot of stuff to come from this channel. I don't know if any of you guys, it's not showing comments here, so if any of you are commenting, it's not popping up for some reason. We've had a storm hit us. Not too sure if it's come across the Atlantic there. Kira, it's caused a bit of havoc here in the UK. So the internet's been pretty poor. It's not terrible, but it's not been great. Not to its usual speeds that we're getting. But I can't complain. A lot of people's had their houses completely destroyed, flooded. I've seen a shop completely fell apart with the river smashing against it. It's just gave way. So crazy weather right now. Everywhere, all over the world right now is just fucking madness. Just want to see why, if there's comments, why they're not coming up. Don't know if you're commenting. It's not coming through if you are, so apologies for that. Our live streams aren't very good without the comments because you can ask questions and stuff. Oh, here we go. Mate, I don't know, and I'll tell you something. Good question, Daryl. Thanks very much, mate. I wasn't even aware of it, mate, so I will actually check it out. I'll tell you what I have been doing on our sports channels here. We get quite a lot of NHL live, so I've been watching a little bit of it over the weekend there. I've been watching other sports as well, but it's in Nottingham. Honestly, I don't know. I'm planning on going to an NHL game that we've got here in Belfast. I'm living in Northern Ireland now, and I'm planning on watching the Belfast Giants in one of their home games coming up shortly. I don't know if it'll be their next game or maybe in the coming weeks anyway. I'll be looking to go watch a couple of their games. I think they play like the Saturday night and the Sunday. They play 2 games in a row. Sounds quite strange, but I think it's because, they don't have a big league, so instead of constantly travelling, they get the 2 games in the one weekend or something against the same team. But it works, so that's the It's not too bad, but I'm not too sure about the GB's team. I can't imagine GB would be up to much because most of the players that play in the league in the UK here are either Canadian, American, or Eastern European. I can't imagine many great players from GB. Are they any good? I couldn't tell you. It's a shame, really, that it's not getting a lot of attention because it's a sport that it's fucking great to watch. So, pretty disappointed that it's not getting much TV coverage. If it is, it's not on one of the main sports channels, that's for sure. You can maybe find it Eurosport or one of the channels that maybe not a lot of people watch. They're in the top tier now, so it's certainly grown by the sounds of it. If they're in the top tier, I'd imagine it's like Canada, America, Russia, Ukraine, countries like that there. Czech Republic, probably. Those are up there, I'd imagine. Established countries within the ice hockey world. GB climbing, if they're in the top tier, they're doing not too bad. We do kind of, as a nation, and you look at the Olympics, we actually do hold our own for a small country, and across the board, and loads of different sports. We're quite good when you look at the Olympics. Maybe not so much the Winter Olympics, but when you look at the Olympics, we do kind of punch above our weight for the size of the country and the population it actually has. It's not massive, so we're pretty good at competing at all levels. It's good to see that they're doing not too bad though. Anyway, so as I say, I've got a question for you, right? So there's 4 people here. I don't know if you're all ice hockey supporters because I do different sports and stuff. Obviously, I've got a lot of AFL support, Aussie Rules, which I love. I'm going to be doing a lot more of that. The footy season's coming up soon as well in March here. The women's game's already started, so I watched some of the female game as well. It was a bit of a damp squib. I think one of the games finished like 9-8, and if you know anything about the AFL, that's an absolutely abysmal scoreline. It was really hard to watch. So I've been watching that, cover the ladies' game, and then the men's game will start March time, so I'm looking forward to that as well. But obviously, Connor McDavid, incredible player. He's an ice hockey player, so covered him already. Obviously, I'm going to be doing more players. I've just literally watched some Sidney Crosby. Very impressive player, to say the least. I'm not going to say who I think's the better of the two, and I don't know if it's fair to compare them because I'm not too sure positionally if they're exactly the same sort of player in terms of position. But based on the skills they have, I've done a little bit. I've compared them in my video, so I do look forward to your opinions on what I've said in the video. But who do you think's the better ice hockey player, Crosby or Connor McDavid? It'd be interesting to hear ice hockey supporters' opinions on that one. I always remember players like Wayne Gretzky from years ago. He was fucking unbelievable. You always seen him in all the games all the time. But there's no denying when you've watched these players. I'm looking forward to doing a lot more skillful players. Of course, everybody who's been following my channel, my older channel and this channel will know it's like comparing Ronaldo and Messi, and I get it. And the two players I liked from what I've watched already is the same. When I compare those two players in the soccer world, football world here, you're comparing different attributes that they both have, and I can already see similarities in what they do, but also they're not exactly identical in the way they play. And I've said a little bit of opinion on that in the video. Obviously, I'm only reacting to highlight reels, short highlight reels. There's a lot more than just highlights out there. You watch live games, you see what they're doing, and games what they're. As I said, different attributes, different skills that they're performing in every game would help you understand the player a little bit more. But I could certainly say, if I was comparing the two against those two players, I would say it's very difficult, actually. McDavid, I certainly think, has the most explosive speed and stick control. His sticks, the speed, the things that he does with the puck, he does it at a rapid rate. I mean, I think he's more frighteningly quick than Crosby. But what Crosby maybe doesn't have in speed, he can make up for in, I would say, improvisation. He's very impulsive, instinctive. He does things with a stick that no other player you can imagine is going to be able to do, or even would have the fucking brass neck to even try. And not only does he try it, he's pulling it off in the video. He's frightening. Unbelievable. Two fucking wizards. Two players that I've really enjoyed watching. I'll definitely be watching more stuff of them. I do watch other videos of them after I've done reactions. But yeah, I totally get that comment. It is like comparing Ronaldo and Messi right now, isn't it? You could imagine like two fucking greats of the game playing at the same time. A bit like Federer and Nadal in tennis. I don't know if any of you watch tennis, but and Djokovic has came in there now in the tennis as well. So just two or three of the best players of all time competing at one in one era is amazing to see. Brilliant for the fans of the sport. And that's what these two guys are doing for you, obviously. Mario Lemieux, that's how you pronounce his Lemieux, best hockey player of all time. Cool. And I'll tell you what, I'm going to cover him then. If I like that, brilliant to hear your Wayne Gretzky is another player I'm aware of, obviously. Do you ever remember that freaking show years ago? Michael Jordan used to be in it, Wayne Gretzky. Pro Stars, it was a cartoon years ago. Pro Stars, really bad soundtrack leading up to it. But Wayne Gretzky was the hockey player, and I loved him. Absolutely brilliant player. He was tough as well, if I can remember rightly. He was a tough player. Thanks very much, Daryl. So, if you're new to the channel, or if you're hockey fans, you're going to be relatively new to what I've been doing on my reactions. I feel that I'm slightly different. Yes, I do watch UFC, but I've got a real problem with it for my channel. In terms of reacting to their stuff, very, very, very strict on their copyright. If you do one little thing, they're smacking a strike on you straight away, and they simply do not let you get in touch with them by email. They will not respond to you. So I can't do reactions. I can talk about UFC. I can give my opinions on it, but if you're looking at me to do reactions, that's difficult. Can't do it. They're very, very, very strict with their copyright on reactions. Pretty disappointing, actually, because reactions, you're for people that maybe don't know a lot about it, you're actually helping find new supporters for that sport. So I'm surprised they're just as strict as what they are. UFC is a very fast-growing type of combat sports. Well, it's mixed martial arts, isn't it? But it's fast-growing. I still prefer boxing, pure, clean boxing. I think it's fast hands. It's too much grappling, too much submission, a lot of wrestling in it. Wrestling, I can appreciate as an incredible type of art. They're strong. They're fucking way harder than me at the end of the day. But when it comes to entertainment, I think boxing is very, very hard to beat. So one of the reasons why you won't see reactions from me or many other people is because of the copyright. They're very, very, very strict on that. But back to the analogy thing. For people like, for ice hockey background here, people who are following the channel now, I feel I'm slightly different from reactors, because a lot of people just give a reaction. They're like, oh, wow, crazy. But they don't give it an awful lot of description. And of course, the word you've used there, analogy, which thanks very much for that word, is because I like to break down what's crazy about it. What did you like about it? When you say OMG, oh my God, and people are getting all excited, what was oh my God about that? What? Tell us what you liked about the hit. Tell us what you liked about the little bit of skill. Give it a little, break it down, give it a little bit more in-depth, as you've said, analogy for people. I like to do reviews at the end of the video, so if you've got a reaction, reactions are great, right? Reactions are fantastic. It helps me learn the sport. It helps me engage with people who follow the sport, which is fantastic. But ultimately, I like to talk about the sport. If I'm starting to learn about it, I like to talk about it, give my opinions, and review the player, review the game, review different things that have happened in the game. Well, if something fucking abnormal's happened in the game, talking about it and talking and engaging with the supporters of that particular sport, that's what I enjoy doing. And that's why I'll always review people and review the video I've watched afterwards. Because when you're given the reaction, a lot of people would say, stop talking through the video. People don't like you pausing the video. A lot of reactors pause the video. I've not got time for that. It's too much editing for me. I'm just a thick ass from Scotland. Editing is above my freaking brain levels. So I just like to talk passionately about what I see, why I've enjoyed it. Try not to go on too much in the video and distract from the video itself. Although I must admit I'm quite bad at that because I do get excited and I do like to talk. But as I say, you'll always get a review after it. But the pausing in the video, I'm not a great fan of that. I'm not a great fan of pausing it. I feel like you're stretching the video out longer than what it needs to be. If you want to show the video and then give your review afterwards. Yeah, well, nice comment there. But I'll just go over the ones I've missed. The ice hockey rink in Europe is bigger, so the game is less physical. Interesting fact. I'll remember that. Thanks very much, JJ. Ia, I don't know if that's how you pronounce your name, so apologies if it's wrong. By the way, did you watch John Jones Reyes? I did watch it. Thought John, the Bonus Jones, did win. It was quite tight in the end, wasn't it? Quite a arm wrestle between the two guys. Decent fight. Everybody wants to see a knockout, don't they? I think Reyes has done himself no harm in that fight whatsoever, though, has he? I liked your comment, Darryl, at the end there as well. More important, it is a fresh set of eyes, I suppose, and you look at it as a novice, so it's probably quite interesting. And I get the same with the AFL when I give my opinion on what I'm seeing in the AFL. A lot of people like it, and I think it's because I know fuck all about the sport. Shouldn't be swearing the child's there. Apologies for. Sorry about that. But because I'm a novice and I'm picking things up, I'm maybe not seeing the thing the same way as what you would say. You're used to seeing these things, so it's sort of it goes unnoticed, if you like, because you've seen it all the time. So any little bit of skill, maybe you don't pick up on it straight away. Whereas I'm like blown away by this stuff because the speed that they're playing hockey at is frightening. The things that they're doing with the stick, that under extreme pressure from a man. I mean, what weight are they? I don't know if he's used the imperial kilos or the pounds and stones. I don't know, but they're heavy guys. Maybe 16 stone, some of them. 17 stone, bang, hitting you at a rapid speed on the ice. So you've got not a lot of time to do your stuff on the ice. They're fucking flying down the ice, fucking with a stick, trickery, boom. They've not got a lot of time to do the stuff. Reyes won in your opinion. Fair comment, mate, and it was tight. And as I said, I don't think he's done himself any harm whatsoever. And that, yeah, I mean, look, people see things a lot differently. A lot of people are saying that as well. Reyes, do you know what? I think it would have been great if he won that. You know, he got the win. Fantastic. I don't actually have any preference in those two. As I say, I'm a boxing fan, more of a boxing fan. My favourite fighter in boxing right now is a Scottish guy called Josh Taylor. Hopefully he's unified the division that he's in. 10 stone, isn't it? So I love to see him go on and up a weight division and into Terence Crawford and Errol Spence Jr. That's where the money is for him. So if he could go up there, I'd be really, really happy with that. But you want to see Suicide Passes Part 1. Sometimes when I'm going to download the videos, it won't find the link for me. It's just whatever way the app that I'm using to download the videos. Excuse me.
I need a drink.
Okay, a wee drink now. It's just whatever that app's work. If it's not working right, I don't react to it. So I'll get back to doing Part 1. Loved Suicide Passes. Wow, loved it. Just loved it. Hip Checks was amazing. This is Boss Baby from the Don's channel, which is my other channel, Boss Baby. This is Dawn of World Sports. More free and loose with the tongue, so the adult language plays a huge part in this channel.
Emily Neville.
I've actually heard him being asked to react to him as well.
I heard Emily Neville.
Ovechkin. Definitely. after the video, folks, if you can go into the comments section and put these players' names into it, who you want to see me reacting to, because it sometimes doesn't come up all the comments when I go back through the live stream. But yeah, I'll certainly check these guys out. £240, still 6'3", sounds like an animal. There's a couple of comments I've made once I've done the video and I've got it all edited up and I put it on with Sidney Crosby, which you're looking back, you say Cronwall, Scott Stevens, and I imagine Ovechkin, physical players. There's a question I ask, or maybe don't ask a question, a statement I make about what Crosby's able to do there on the ice, and you think to yourself, if these guys had been involved on that particular bit of skill that he's done, could it have been a different story? So just watch that video and you'll see what I mean.
Where do you put this on?
Greatest, yes, mate.
How you put this
I certainly will check it out. I will check it out. Greatest sporting moments react, all sports. Good idea. This is a world sports channel, so I'm open to all things. Somebody said lacrosse, which sounds interesting. So if there's any good videos out there of lacrosse that would be worth a reaction, give me a shout on that as well, because it's not a sport. It does get played in the UK, but it's not a professional sport or anything like that there. So I would need your help with what particular video to react to. There's another one, and I'm going to do this because it's fucking bizarre, and we're all about the world of bizarre sports as well. Obviously, the Harry Potter books are huge, and the movies are huge, and they've got that daft game, Quidditch. There's absolute lunatics running around in England, and the students from universities, because it only would be students that would do this nonsense, are playing Quidditch. But it's actually surprisingly physical. It's actually quite physical. I watched a short video on it and I thought, do you know what? I think I should do a reaction to this because it's bonkers. It's bonkers and it deserves a reaction. So any of these things I'm open to reacting to. It's all a bit of fun at the end of the day, and that's what it's all about. Sport's great. Sport reactions, that's what it's all about. Ronaldo versus Messi. Yes, that is. So Crosby and Ovechkin's like that then as well. He's another player in there. Cheers. Thank you. Well, obviously, somebody's mentioned Wayne Gretzky. I think everybody knew him. I knew. There's Serge from the Don's channel. 3 daughters I have. Does anybody know who this is? What this is? Any Canadians out there know what that is? If you know your military and you know your Canadian military, you'll know what this is. But it's not the Canadian one. A quick question for you. So I'm just interested to see. I have put a comment about that cushion in the video that I've just done on Sidney Crosby, which I'm quite looking forward to you watching. Actually, surprisingly long. It's about a 17-minute video I've done all in with the reaction and my review, because there was a lot to talk about. So quite excited. But if anybody knows what that is, just a bit of trivia, I'll be happy. But I would say for any Canadians there, if you've got no knowledge on your military, you'll know what that is, because Canadian army regiments are based on Scottish regiments. That's a little clue. So if you know what that one was, let me know. There'll be everybody Googling this here. Or one's watching back the video. Victoria Cross, I'm really not sure. Well, to be fair, the shape of it is similar to a Victoria Cross. It's not a Victoria Cross. It's actually a badge, a regimental badge. It's a Scottish regimental badge. It's actually the Black Watch. Canada has a Black Watch regiment, so the Canadian would be like the 1st Battalion, Royal Highland Regiment, who are now amalgamated into several regiments within. I'm not Canadian, but from Minnesota, so I'm quite close to Canada. Oh, sorry, I've just presumed you're from Canada. So an American. But Americans are quite patriotic, and they're very good when it comes. A lot of Americans have a good knowledge on military. They're quite patriotic that way, so they're quite good. And I work with American military in Iraq, myself. I was in Iraq under an American operation up in Dogwood in 2004. And I worked with a lot of American troops, worked with Canadian troops as well. So I've got a lot of respect for them. But as I say, Canada actually have their own Black Watch regiment. They also have their own Royal Scots regiment, I think. Most of the Scottish regiments, Canada has the same name as, which is quite good, because a lot of Scottish influence in Canada over the years, the origins of the country, colonised by Scots, obviously. So, another thing, Vancouver, in the west of Canada there, obviously it's British Columbia, but I'm sure that state used to be called New Caledonia. Obviously, Caledonia was a sort of romantic name for Scotland, named by the Romans. Caledonia, New Caledonia was what British Columbia was called, I think. Obviously, you've got Nova Scotia, which was an island off the east of Canada. I'm quite knowledgeable about North America, quite passionate about North America as a whole. Obviously, with the colonisation of the countries from Britain, from Scotland as well, being part of Britain at the time. So quite good. Loads of Scots on the East Coast. I have family in Toronto, all around Ontario as well. I've got a lot of family. I think they're spread out all around there. I've never been to Canada, but a lot of my friends, my regiment actually went there and did a training exercise, live firing exercise in Canada. I can't remember where they went, but it was meant to have been brilliant. And they turned up in this street. They got invited back to this house, and I don't know what the city was or the town was they went to, but cut a long story short, the boys went for a drink with them in the street, and everyone on the street went to this one house for the party, and they said that whenever that one house has a party, the whole street's invited, so everybody had to have enough drink for the whole place, and all the lads in the army were down drinking with them. Said it was unbelievable, really cool. Sir Potty, you actually are a historian, Hawks fan. Brilliant to get some AFL supporters in as well. So I'm talking a little bit about the AFL there earlier on. Yeah, I think I'm nowhere near a historian, but when it comes to things that you enjoy, you just soak it in like a sponge. And I think when you think of Australia as well, Scottish influence in Australia is huge. From their beginnings, from sort of the Europeans coming over, there's a huge Scottish influence there as well. So anywhere where the Scots or the Britishers went, quite enjoy the history on that as well. So quite easy to learn it when you enjoy it, which I'm spot on. But my surname's Don, D-O-N, Don, obviously the Don of World Sports, the Don's channel, Don Father, and Don, my surname's Don, and you look at Nova Scotia and the east of Canada there, I can't remember what you call it if he's like, can't remember the name of it, but he was in charge of Nova Scotia. There was a Don there, can't remember the name of what you call them. I'm not going to say that it's not an Earl or anything like that. I don't know what they were called.
Australia? Were they from Australia?
They're from this one's Canada, Nova Scotia. What do they call them? Studied history for over 15 years. And do you know something? If at school somebody said to me, go and do history, I'd have been like, oh, no. I was like, it was torture. Don't teach me history. Oh, shit, boring. But now it's like, I love it. I like watching all this stuff. Governor, that's it. I think he was a governor. If you look back in the history of Nova Scotia, there was a Don. I don't know if he was a relation. I presume he probably was a relation of ours because of the fact that it's not a massive family name in Scotland. But we did have somebody knighted as well, Sir William Scott. I think he lived in Perthshire or Aberdeenshire or something like that in Scotland, Dundee direction on the east coast of Scotland. So he was actually knighted. He was a Lord Provost as well. So he was like something high up as well. But a governor, there you go then. All the governors put into all the positions all over the place, like the Caribbean and stuff. Loads of Scots there. The sugar, Lyle and Scott, all the sugar and stuff. That must have been mental going to Canada and the Caribbean and all around America. This new world, the money, all the natural resources. It must have been an incredible time to be alive. Are you going to get another drink? Get a wee drink of juice. But you're all right. You're all right. But I'm going to go there now and put the dinner on for the easons. Good chat. But that's the Black Watch. You've got a regiment in the Canadian Army, Canadian military, the Black Watch. That'd be a sister battalion. And they've got their own pipe band as well. The bagpipes, they have their own pipe band as well. They do their praise. I think they would probably do the Edinburgh military tattoo as well. They would come over as well. Loads of people. They've got the Maoris come. Anything in the British Commonwealth, they come and perform, even the Indian stuff. So it's pretty cool. The Indian bands come over. Loads of cool stuff. South Africa, everywhere. And they play that military tattoo. So it's really good. But anyway, I'm getting sidetracked from sport. It's just sport. There's history to everything. So it was actually an Englishman that started ice hockey, I believe. It was an English person that started ice hockey. And it's derived from like a few different sports. You've got hurling. You've got hockey, of course, ground hockey, grass hockey. I think Shinty might have been involved in Shinty being a North of Scotland game where it's mental, it's physical, big hits. So it's been a mixture of everything put in, and then obviously it's on ice now. It's fucking amazing. So even golf, well, Scots did invent golf as well. It was invented in St Andrews, wasn't it? On the East Coast. Fife. I'm from Fife. It's from Fife, St Andrews. To be fair, I can see the similarity in. Don't be fighting. Go and get a haircut. Crazy. I'm going to have to go because they're fighting. Field hockey, normal hockey here, quite big. It's not a professional sport, I don't think. Well, if it is, it's not high paid. But my daughter plays at a school, quite big in the schools here, actually, hockey. Rugby union's quite big in the schools here. Soccer, obviously, being the biggest sport. Massive. It's huge. Somebody said that to me, forward pass, so I could see why that came from rugby. And, of course, with the hits in the game as well. It's quite interesting. But it's developed from state to state. Correct me if I'm wrong, but over the beginnings, as it's went across Canada, the game sort of developed over time, going from state to state, and it's developed. And obviously, then the rules got instated, and the sport's been commissioned. You've got the National Hockey League now, but really good stuff. So I could imagine even the sticks. I seen one was like $500 for the stick. It kind of prices the normal person out of the game, doesn't it? When you're like, if you think of just getting a ball, you just play with a ball, but you've got, I think, ice hockey, the equipment. Maybe you don't wear a helmet when you're young and you're flying about on the ice on a frozen lake or something. But if you're having to buy the skates, the stick, all the gear that goes with it, quite an expensive sport, unless you're getting a hand-me-down from a friend or an older brother or even your parents. It's probably quite an expensive sport for your kids to play. So good point that. I would actually like to see it played outside because I've seen that. Shoes. Hey. Playing down. Nutters. So I'd imagine going and watching it outside. Stop it. Well, I'm talking on this live stream now. Go and play it. Lunatics. My arm. So I've just finished that one. I'd like to see it played outdoors when the snow was coming down. They said it happens once a year. I can't remember the name of the event, but there's a live game outside, open there, which I thought was actually pretty good, because you'd imagine a lot of kids are playing, can't get into the rink, they're playing on frozen lakes or ponds near their property, and just learning skills like that. It's quite impressive. Minnesota, honestly, see the idea of visiting these places. It's breathtaking scenery. Winter Classic, that's the one I did. Somebody did tell me about it, so I'm learning all these things. It's the same for we've got an AFL fan there. When you're learning all the stuff at once, it's sort of your learning curves like that there. But over time, it'll just be like picking up little details, and it'll be easier to learn. Actually, Sir Potty said there is black players. I actually seen them and I thought, wow, like, but if you think of it, people are living in those places. They've maybe and it's not. There actually is players, but I would imagine that statement's probably right. There's not many. I mean, they're probably going into football. I know that sounds quite stereotypical, but you know, you can imagine the black players kind of preferring football. But I actually have seen a few players that are black, yeah. Football stadiums as well. That's cool. I wonder, how do they do that then? They must have to put something down. Is it real ice they're getting down on the football stadiums? That's mental. And basketball as well, another sport. I know that sounds stereotypical, but it is kind of sports you do associate with them because they play it that much and they see it on the TV. Good point. They have more role models in those sports. So you look at Jordan, Shaquille O'Neal, obviously. The more modern players now, Kobe Bryant's just passed away. Players like that there in basketball, you see them there, and then obviously in American football, they're I think the majority would be black players. So you say it's about enough to make up a team. That's actually all right, though, considering it is like a winter sport, isn't it? Traditionally, it comes from winter places that experience cold winters, harsher winters. But I will have to go now, folks. Thanks very much for the chat. It's first proper NHL kind of live stream where we've had talking about players because my knowledge has grown now, so I feel more comfortable talking about it. But bye from this mob, these crazy cats, and we'll see you all soon. Thanks very much. Larry Bird, thanks very much, mate. Big ginger dude. Thanks very much, bud. Bye, everyone. Nutcases. See you later, folks.